Afternoon, gentlemen. Hope you're well. Yes, I've had a bit of a hiatus from putting any content up. I have been going through quite a number of challenges myself and just felt that I needed to really spend that time learning around what was causing those behaviours for me still, even though I thought, you know what, I've done pretty well with this nice guy stuff over the last 15 years. But then some came back up and I was like, oh, okay, where's that come from? And I didn't feel like I'd be congruent as a presenter until I'd actually really understood what was happening with myself. And I think anybody that comes on to these platforms and, you know, I think the viewer deserves to have the most authentic version of the presenter. So I don't want to be hypocritical and talking about nice guy and potency and doing this, but at the same time, I was seeing some nice guy behaviours rearing up again, and I thought, well, how can I be presenting these topics when I'm actually having to now deal with them as well, which I thought that I'd overcome, but obviously I hadn't. So but today, look, I want to just talk about a term that I learnt in my break called fawning. Now, you've probably heard of this, but fawning is it's a survival response, same as fight, flight, freezing, and it's predominantly found in nice guys, because it's all around people pleasing. It's approval seeking, people pleasing. It's because the conditioning in the childhood years was, you know, all the wiring around what your perception of love was that it was conditional. So what you had to do, and that could have been from a parent, from both parents, from for friends, you had to achieve something. You had to please somebody in order to receive praise or love or the good stuff that you were craving as a child. I certainly had to do that. You know, I did very well in cricket because it got my father's attention and it got his approval, and he gave me good feedback. And in between all of that, I didn't really get a lot of feedback. So I thought, well, the only way I'm going to receive love from a parent is if I do really well in a sport. And the mental gymnastics that go with that, and worrying about whether if you didn't perform well, does that mean you receive less love that week and all those sorts of things. So, but then what you do is you carry those traits into adulthood. If you're a manager, you might do it with your employees. Oh, if I look after my employees, if I do all this, and if I over service them, and if I don't say no to them at any stage, they won't approve of me as a manager, then I won't be seen as worthy. It's a real toxic blueprint, this whole fawning piece, because it just always puts you in reverse. And that's how I felt. Like I was just always going backwards. It was just really demoralizing. It's disempowering. You feel it's almost like you're emasculating yourself when you can't say no. So you say yes, and you go, why did I fucking do that? Why didn't I just say no? Like, who gives a? It's because you don't want to rock the boat. You don't want them to feel that, or you don't want to feel that they're upset with you just because you've said no and you've prioritized something else. And if you're an empath, which most nice guys are, you'll go, oh, look at them, they're upset now that I've said no. Look, okay, let's do it. Come on. I'll drive you 100 kilometres to pick up a hairbrush. Come on. Yeah, I know your boyfriend's working, but I'll do it for you because I'm an approval-seeking nice guy, and you will think of me as great. And it's really just you trying to survive. It's trying to survive in a moment and a circumstance where you go, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe saying no. I feel safe saying yes, even though I don't want to do it. I feel safe when I just do what makes other people happy, because then there's no conflict. Then I'm in my comfort zone. Then there's no unknown and unfamiliarity. So the key message is really, you know, you feel safe in dysfunction, and you feel safe by not getting your needs met. You feel safe constantly seeking other people's approval. And as fucking bizarre as that sounds, it's how you're wired, right? Because you're wired for safety, not expansion, okay? Because it's all about the survival of your inner structure, and it's our self-defense system doing its job, okay? The nervous system's job is to protect us, okay? So when you're wired and you're constantly in a survival state, you're constantly looking for things to protect yourself from being hurt or disapproved of. And I found this revolutionary because I thought, okay, well, if I was wired like that as a kid and I can rewire, then it means I don't have to use those same survival mechanisms as I used as a kid as an adult, because it's just fucking not working. I mean, let's be honest, guys. How fucking exhausting is it trying to please women who are just constantly unhappy or disappointed in, you know, that what they do is they go, if the moment that I approve of something for him, or the moment I'm not disappointed in him, then he'll stop being nice, and then that doesn't serve my needs, right? So there's this constant thing was, oh, was that good? Yeah, did you enjoy that meal I cooked? Or you okay? Yeah, I suppose, the responses are designed to keep you in that state of anxiety where you think, once again, I wasn't enough. Yep, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. So I'll keep trying harder. Next time, oh, okay, next time I'll do it this way. Oh, yeah, okay, no worries. Fuck off. What a lot of energy that goes to waste. And when I say energy, I also equate that to power. So you could almost reframe it and say, what a lot of power I've just given away to this individual. And if you have 5, 6, 7 people a day that you're doing this to, oh, good, I've pleased 7 people, everybody likes me, oh, thank you so much for all your help, thank you for the, oh yeah, I feel good now, I feel safe, yeah, I feel good, yep, everything's fucking conditional, right? But it's you're just happy because you haven't burst your bubble, right? You haven't changed your identity. They still see you as helpful, you're still needed, you're still wanted, right? Again, it's your survival mechanism. It's your nervous system saying, thanks for keeping us safe again today. Thanks for not going out of the ordinary. Thanks for not treading outside the comfort zone. Thanks for not standing up for yourself and asserting your needs. Thank you, we feel safe. Here's the key. You can rewire your nervous system to feel safe in expansion, to feel safe in assertiveness, to feel safe as an alpha male. And it's that simple, starting with semantic exercises like, I feel safe saying no. I mean, just start with that one. I feel safe saying no. And you do that with some deep breathing and just start to relax in the safety and the feeling of saying no. And once your subconscious mind starts to recognize this as a newly rewired program, right, it has no choice but to deliver on that. But what you need to do as well is actually start putting it into practice. You can't sit there consciously saying this shit in your head and then at the same token texting, yeah, I'll be there, no worries, you can count on me, I'm there for you, girl. Oh, has he let you down again? Consider me there, yeah. Pathetic, all right? Pathetic. It makes you feel pathetic, and you know it does, all right? and I'm including myself on this one. I look at a lot of the times that I responded and I fawned just because it made me feel safe. But once you start to reclaim your power back and you start to feel safe in assertiveness, in strength, and not feeling ashamed of being a man, okay? We have a masculine energy. Don't fucking suppress it. Don't spend your whole life fawning and dimming your light, keeping yourself small, shrinking, over-pleasing, right? All it does is emasculate you, and to the point where it doesn't matter how often you go to the gym and how much fucking weight you lift, it doesn't change your rewiring if you can't then act with the same inner strength as you've used in your physical strength. I know this firsthand. Okay, it can be a very vicious cycle. You overtrain because you're actually starving for inner strength. You think, oh, I'll go to the gym and I'll lift this and I'm fucking heavy and it'll, and I'll feel good, I'll look good, yeah. And then go, yeah, and then start orbiting women or fucking whatever you're doing. It's bullshit. Okay? It is absolute bullshit. Fawning is a fear-based behavior, and it has no place in an alpha male's fucking repertoire. Okay? So say to yourself, I feel safe saying no. I feel safe in an alpha state. Put your hand on your stomach and put your hand on your heart at the same time and say it 10 times a day. And your nervous system will or has to adjust. But don't start doing the exercises if you're just going to become a hypocrite, and after you've done it, fuck off and go people pleasing. Okay? Remember this, I am safe saying no. So what if they don't like it? So fucking what? Who gives a fuck? Okay? You haven't walked away from someone and their needs, you've walked towards yourself and your own needs. And that's the lesson that I learned recently, is walking towards yourself to fulfill your own needs is not abandoning someone. Okay? It's saying, I'm as fucking important as you. I'm just going to walk this way and go towards myself and my own needs. Or you can just stay a fucking fawner your whole life, and this is what I ask myself. And what? Never, ever, ever feel the true power of my own masculinity. Never feel strong within myself. Always having to go to the gym to prove my strength. Or what about if I could just sit there and say something that showed inner strength, and then just didn't give a fuck whether they approved of it or they didn't. And that's where I've got to now, and which is why I've come back to you guys to talk about this, because it is probably the most pivotal learning point that I had in going from nice guy to alpha, because you just, you've unpacked the depth of where it comes from, and that's where you need to be starting, at the root cause. Okay? Affirmations, positive thinking, and all that is the tip of the iceberg, but you got to get right to the fucking bottom. So if you're interested in learning more about this, I've got a 7-day rewiring reboot course coming, especially designed to shift that fear-based fawning to having a more proactive, assertive approach when you're dealing, especially with women in your life, because let's face it, that's who we're predominantly trying to please. And if we think they approve of us, and they think we're a great guy and a nice guy, there's potential for intimacy and all those sorts of things. All right, at the end of the day, you don't come out of friend zones, because then you don't serve a purpose. Okay, so if you're interested, let me know. Just say yes, and I'll take your details, and then I'll get something out to you. I'll let everybody know when it's coming, so that way you've got an idea, but it's not far away. So anyway, thanks for listening, and I hope some of that has resonated with you and has kept you wanting to know more. All right, have a great day, gents. Take care. Bye.